Okay, guys, today I am going to show you a very simple way in which you can actually free up your time by several hours per week and start to gain the efficiencies that are going to increase your overall profitability by 5–10% or more as you start to head into the future. This is so simple, it's actually going to blow your mind. But one of the most common things I hear when I start my conversations with a lot of the founders I work with is, I have to customize every engagement. No one can do these things the way I can. What I run into most of the time is that really the thing that's happening is that everything still lives in their head and they haven't found a clear way to communicate or document exactly what it is that they do. I'm going to show you how to start doing that today. So the very first thing I want you to do is to go through all of your engagements and think about exactly how you service your client. I promise if you do this, you are going to find out that there are maybe 4 to 5 steps that you do with all of your clients when you're servicing them. That is called your proven process and becomes the foundational framework for how you operate. Now, when you do this, this is going to be your primary service tier, the primary thing that is the glue that holds together all of your client engagements. So we're going to put that here in the middle tier. This is your primary engagement. Now, I guarantee you, if you start to think about it even further, you have a lower tiered option and a higher tiered option. You probably just haven't productized and systemized any of this yet. So I want you to think about what it would look like to downsell this primary engagement and to upsell it. And then we're going to create 2 other service tiers directly out of this. So you've got your lower tiered option here. So this is low, and this will make it a little bit bigger, is your higher tiered option. Obviously, this is the lesser cost. This is your normal engagement. And this is your high-end engagement. Now, I'm not saying you can't ever customize anything, but this should be the foundational way in which you serve all of your clients. Once you have this structure in place, this is when you can start to build out project templates within your project management software that you can easily duplicate during onboarding. We all know onboarding is a highly inefficient process. So when you can start to reduce the time period between when a client signs and when they get the ongoing services, we are just going to automatically increase our overall margins. So if you can reduce that time period from 10 days down to 5 days, and you can systemize a lot of the steps and even automate parts of them, you're going to automatically gain an increase in your overall gross margins because you just become much more efficient in the process. And then you can also start to delegate out the parts that you can't automate. And I promise both things can be done within your business. So let's take a look at this again. So you've got your primary service engagement. Within your primary service engagement, I guarantee you, you've got some onboarding steps. You've got your ongoing service steps. And maybe you have monthly, weekly, or even daily recurring tasks. And they do occur as part of your ongoing steps. Now, these things right here, they're the ones that you should be able to easily turn over. They probably look the same amongst all of your clients, and they're the ones that you should be documenting SOPs for. Now, the onboarding, this is where you should look to heavily delegate or automate. These are key things that you do in every single onboarding process. You have a scope of engagement that you have to get signed or a contract that you have to get signed. You send out a welcome email. You send out 4 different onboarding emails requesting key documents from your clients. You can automate all of these processes within certain platforms. I use Go High Level within my business, but there are other platforms where you can automate 90% of these tasks. For right now, I just want you to think through exactly what it is that you do so that we can start to build this out in your project management template. Because when you do that, you can start to video yourself. You can use Loom, record yourself doing each of these tasks. And that's how we are going to actually start to turn it over to a VA. After we get that turned over to VA, that's when you can start looking for opportunities to actually automate those services. In many cases, your virtual assistant is actually going to know how to automate that, and you can have them set that up for you. But this is where you are going to increase your overall gross margins. This is how you're going to start to productize your services. You should have 3 key offers to start. So the lower tiered engagement, for example, I do a 21-day sprint. This is my lower tiered engagement. The primary engagement, I have a 6-month program. That is my current primary engagement. And then the high tiered services. I have one-on-one fractional and integrator level services that I offer to my clients. Those are my 3 primary tiers. And within all of them, there are things that overlap between different clients. And so all of those things, those are what I've got in each of my project templates that I set up within my product. So all of those things, that's what I put in my project management system. That's what my VA duplicates every time I sign a new client. And then she assigns it out. And over time, we build up every single SOP. Within the description, we put the due date or the common due date and the key person that is going to be assigned out to. And then she just goes in, I sign a new client. Actually, most of my process here is automated. The contract gets signed, an automatic Slack message comes to Slack. She sets up the new project management template on her side. And then she assigns out each of the tasks dependent upon who is going to actually be accountable for that particular task and doing the functions within them. This is how, again, you start to free up your time. This is how you start to actually increase your overall gross margins when you're servicing all of your clients. This is how you start to systemize your business and get everything out of your head. And really, it is so simple. It just takes you a little bit of time to think it through. And don't be afraid to use AI to help you. Upload what you do for each of your clients and have AI start to help you productize and systemize your services. And if you want a little help, reach out. I actually help my clients with this in every single onboarding that we go through, and I would be happy to help you. So book a call so we can start to talk about how we can actually free up your time and increase your overall profitability so that you can scale without you having to be in the middle of everything.